Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, welcome to be my guest. Today we have with us Kalin Monet, and she is a visual artist. She came all the way from Yonkers, New York today. Was it 3 hours?
Yes, it was about 3 hours.
And where did you run into the traffic?
Pretty much coming straight out of Yonkers.
So how did you, what routes, do you remember how you got here? I mean, I'm very unfamiliar with New York.
Yeah, I live very close to the highway, so
you're close.
Hop right onto the highway. Traffic's pretty much right there since school started. There's been a lot of traffic lately.
Yeah. I used to live down in Greenwich, New Canaan, Connecticut, which borders on the New York border down there. I can't think of the name of the county, but we weren't that far from the New York border. New Canaan, the Merritt Parkway, that type of thing. Well, I think you had the ad was about Kalin in the newspaper about being up at the Book Lovers Gourmet, right?
Yes.
How did she find out, or how did you find out about her?
Well, my mother lives up here, so I went to go visit her, and while I was up here, I went to the cafe.
Yeah.
And I just asked about the artwork that Deb had up on the walls, and she informed me that she had other artists come in and they put their artwork up, and I was just wondering if she had any other available openings, and the nearest one she had was the following year in August. So I said, would you be able to sign me up? And she said sure. So that's how it happened.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yonkers, New York. Did you ever live here in New England?
No.
So for you to travel to display and exhibit your art from Yonkers, New York blows my mind. So many of the artists want to stay in the area. They don't want to go. I mean, New England covers how many states? But to go beyond that into New York, and then for you to come here, that's amazing. Where else have you showed your art? We're going to show her art in a minute. Where else have you been?
I've been in New York. I've done 2 shows in New York. I've done one here in Massachusetts, and I've done the one at the bookstore. And I have another one coming up in New York as well. These are all pop-ups, though, but I'm trying to get my work out there and see if I get into some galleries, maybe do some more cafes or so down in the city.
Yeah, this is great. Let's start showing them some of your Let's see what you've got. I love this box that you have what do they call it? The boxed kind of frame?
Yeah, it's a box kind of frame.
You hold it up. Paul will show you exactly. Hold it up so that you can get that. That's beautiful. What do you use? Oils or what?
I use a variety of mediums. With this one here, it's acrylic. This one is called...
Here, hold it right up here. I'll hold it for you.
Okay.
Okay. I love this. This is perfect for the... is it kind of abstract?
Yeah, it is. So the thing is, I actually would like to start with this one and show you... this kind of started everything.
Yeah, let's hold this.
This is the guy that started it all.
This is where I saw... Where did I go online and I saw this picture?
Yes, that is the one that's actually in the article.
Okay.
And it's also the one that I think Deb might have picked for the Facebook page as well. So
it looks like, how we have a lot of authors on, and it reminds me of covers that authors would use.
Oh.
Did you design this yourself?
Yeah. That's all me.
That's another genre you could get into is authors, who want their covers designed. You'd be perfect.
That would be nice.
Definitely. Illustrating it. Now, this is somebody dancing. And that's an acrylic, right?
Yeah, this one is all acrylic. So this kind of started everything for me. I've always painted, I've always drawn, and been very crafty my whole entire life. I actually went to school for architecture.
Architecture?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
NYIT.
Where's that?
It's in Columbus Circle.
Columbus Circle. And you went there for 4 years?
Yes.
And studied architecture. Then what made you decide to be an artist?
So I went into the field, and I felt like something was missing. Throughout school, we did a lot of designing, we did a lot of crafting, hand drawings, model building. So it was very hands-on, which is stuff that I'm familiar with.
I just love this is perfect. Was this on display up in the Webster at Book Lovers Gourmet?
Yes, but this one is actually the original.
This is the first one of your. This is the original. Then.
Yes, this is the original. I brought all originals today.
It looks like snowflakes coming down.
Thanks.
How long have you? You said you've been doing art a long time. When you were little, did you do it?
I was the only child for 10 years, so
Oh, okay.
just hand me some colored pencils and
And you were
markers, and I was good for the day.
I relate because my mother said as soon as I could get a pencil in my hand, I was drawing. I remember I used to draw people, and my uncle said to me, I was getting older, and he says, I was always drawing fashion, which is very normal for a girl. Faces of girls. What am I going to do to guys? But he said to me, well, Jan, why don't you do some boys, some guys? And I looked at him like he had 3 heads. I'm like, well, what am I drawing boys for? But I loved it. I remember. Now, you were little, so you were the only child for 10 years.
Yes.
How did it feel to have a sibling suddenly?
I wanted a sibling for the longest, so having a sibling was everything I ever wanted.
So you were probably a great help to your mother because you came first, and you could help Mom with all the baby stuff and everything.
Yeah.
See, it was the reverse in my family. I was the youngest of 2 onlys, and he was 9 years older. So by the time I came along, I didn't do with the baby, especially a sister. You know. So, let's see some more of your work.
Here's another one. This one is actually a mixed medium. So I've got some watercolor, which is the background, and then there's acrylic, which is the planets.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where do you get this idea?
To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. It just comes to me. One idea I make tends to lead to another one. Yeah. Sometimes it's the color, sometimes the subject matter. It's a variety of things. My mind is always running. That's the thing with me.
It's like planets. Are those planets?
Yeah, these are planets. Yeah.
And she's like dancing.
She's fading into the universe.
She's fading. How do you get that beauty? What's it called? Flecking with brushes? The beautiful snowflake?
Yeah, it's flicking.
Did anybody buy any of your artwork up in Webster at the Book Lovers Gourmet?
Yes, one person had purchased one of the prints.
That's really good.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. How much would this be, for example?
Well, I'm not, at the moment, I'm not selling the originals.
Well, yeah. Well, if you did, what would it be?
I can't even put a price on it right now.
Yeah, priceless right now.
Yeah.
I gotcha. I know. Now, let's see the next one.
Sure.
Now, this is done still on the canvas board.
Yes, this one is actually on the
is that,
canvas
at
board.
first I thought it was a lighthouse, but no. It's like you see at Cape Cod, right? You're walking beach, and it's like that beautiful, like the moon or the sun.
Yeah, the moon in the background. It's it's an infinite boardwalk. You know, this one is a very good representation of some of my other artwork, where it's you look into the light. You know, you never know where your journey will take you.
I
in
love
life.
that.
Yes.
How many years ago was it recently that you painted this?
This was actually last year. Yeah.
So this is still pretty new.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're not going to frame it? You're going to leave it the way it is?
I've been considering framing it, but it's just finding the right frame for it.
Yeah, my husband's a photographer, and boy, I know you got to get that right frame, right?
Exactly.
I remember back when I was doing abstract art, I learned the hard way that a frame can make or break a picture, can't it?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
It has a lot to do with the color contrast. So this is something that I've realized that it probably comes a little natural to me. Both my parents are in the art field.
Oh, they're both in art. They're both artists.
Yes.
Oh, they must have been overjoyed when you came into the field.
Yes, but I know that, let's say, for example, I do the black and white. Black and white goes for pretty much about anything.
Yeah.
However, if you were to put a black frame around something that's very light colored, it makes the picture pop.
Yeah.
And vice versa, if you do a white frame with something that's dark, it makes the image pop. Now, if you go with different colors, then you have to figure out, which colors contrast with each other, which one helps the painting versus, takes away from the painting.
So when you graduated with your degree in architecture, did you immediately go out and get a job for that, or did you say, nope, wrong thing, I'm going another way?
Well, that's the thing, is like I started out in school, I was working in construction management, but it was in the office, and I realized, I said, paperwork is not for me. I need to do more design.
Yeah.
So I got closer to architecture, and I started, and right after I graduated, I got my first job in an architecture firm, and it was fairly technical, and I said, no, I need something that's a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
So then I went into interior architecture, and at that moment, I said, maybe I should just continue with my artwork, I had always drawn and painted my whole entire life. It's always been very relaxing to do.
Yeah.
And at the previous job that I was at, I had realized that, you know, I needed some sort of other outlet for my creativity. That's when I started picking up painting again.
Yeah.
But it's just been these past 2 years that I've been kind of like going full force with it, because I realized, you know, maybe architecture is not really my path, or
Right.
maybe it's a part of my path,
Yeah.
but art is definitely...
And it's
My
not,
guts
your
are
art
it.
doesn't seem to be geometric. I would expect somebody who'd been an architect to be more geometric. Yours is soft and whimsical.
Yeah.
What a difference. Now, what made you want to go into architecture? What was it? Because I know you were starting art early in life. What made you want to go into architecture anyway?
Well, a little bit of family influence, and saying, you know, you need to have some job that's very structural. So I said, okay, you know, architecture is fairly structural, and also it was kind of the midway too, where it was like, okay, there's some designing to it, there's some crafting, creating. And when I was in school, as I said, there was a lot of model building, a lot of, you know, hand drawings of that sort. So I stuck with it, and I loved it up until I started working, and I realized it's totally different from school.
Let's see this other one you've got.
All right, and here's the last one.
Oh, I would almost think that, you know, I can see your artwork almost in the children's room of a library, young adults.
You're actually not the first person to say that about this piece.
Definitely, because obviously, have you shown this to any libraries? Have you shown this?
No, I haven't shown it to any libraries. I know.
This is really, I think this is about one of my favorites. I love it
Thank
because
you.
it's like this whole magical world is coming out from him reading a book.
Exactly.
And that's how you got your idea.
Mhm.
Are you an avid reader?
I try to be, but sometimes it's very hard to pick the right book and stick with it. You
Was
know?
this acrylic?
Oh, this one's actually watercolor.
I was going to say, because it looked a little too delicate for acrylic.
Yeah.
A little bit more delicate, and you still got that beautiful, this is your signature, the beautiful white sparkle effect, right?
Yes.
That is, I'm going to know your art anywhere.
Thank you.
I love the way you did this. How long ago did you do this one?
That one was also last year as well.
Yeah.
This year, I've been focusing more on trying to get my artwork out there.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit spotty with the work that I've been doing, and on top of that, I've been working a 9-to-6 job. So
What's your other job?
it's architecture, interior architecture.
Oh, are you with your own company as an entrepreneur or with someone else?
Oh, with someone else. Yes.
Busy girl.
Yeah.
Do you have a studio at home is it an apartment or a house in Yonkers?
It's just a house.
Yeah.
It's a 2-family house, and there's a studio there. There's a studio space in the
Right in
apartment.
there.
Yeah.
So that's pretty handy to have.
Oh, definitely.
Have you ever had art shows within your home, in your studio?
No. I don't know if I could. It's a little bit small for that. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great idea. Now, you haven't shown in the Boston area yet, or did you?
I did.
You did?
I did one art show up here in Boston. It was a pop-up. There's this company called Raw Natural Born Artist. So I started out with them in New York. They had a show there,
Yeah.
and they invited me in, and I did that show, and they offered me this other show. They said you could do a second show anywhere that you want. It just has to be outside of
Yeah.
your main region. So I said, I have family up here in Massachusetts. I might as well do up here.
Sure.
So
Oh, definitely, because we just interviewed, they're having, they've shut down the juried part right now. The show is November 9th, 10th, and 11th. And everybody from photographers, artists, drawings, visual, all that type of thing. And they were just right over here in Grafton. And they're going to have, now I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, oh, if only she'd known.
yes.
Oh, yeah, there's no question you would have been allowed, you could come in there. So, to get the word out about what you're doing, you're online, right?
Yes.
Tell people how they can reach you.
So I have an Instagram account, which is KMonet18, KMONET 18, and I also have a website. It's called KMonet Artist, KMonetartist.com. And I also have a Facebook page. It's also called KMonet.
Okay.
So,
All right, K Monet, MONET.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, of course, it's going to remind me of the artist Monet.
Yes. I thought about that afterwards, but that's actually my middle name. So, yeah.
French,
Monet.
very French. Monet.
Yeah. My mom, I guess she was really into the artist, so she gave me that middle name. So,
Yeah.
and it's like, I like it.
Yeah.
You know,
What
I
kind of
love
art
it.
do your parents do?
So my mom, she went to school for fashion design.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, but right now she's in psychology.
Wow, she made a jump too. Like
Yep.
you did.
It's a little bit of the left side and right side.
Yeah, yeah, she did.
And my father, he went to school for graphic design.
For graphic design.
Yes.
So when they saw you drawing, they know, oh, well, you know,
Yeah, it's really natural.
we've got this down pat. What about your sibling who's a decade younger than you?
Mhm.
How's that person doing?
Well, he's a teenager, so he's more into the whole video games and things
the
of
video
that sort.
game. Yeah, is he like this constantly? Da-da-da-da on his...
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But you know, technology nowadays, yeah.
Now, are
But,
you a
know,
millennial?
I guess technically, yeah, I am.
Yeah, they're in the 20s, early 30s, that type of... Yeah, I've got a son in your age group. Very different aspect on life. And I know that the mother of my two little grandkids, they're all very young, but she would love your kind of art because it has a delicate fantasy feeling to it. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
Is that
That's
what
the
you were-
idea of it.
That's what you
yeah.
wanted to create.
Mhm.
Now, how many do you have at home? I mean, you must have a whole stack.
Oh, I have so many art pieces. And then the thing is too, I've collected artwork from when I was like younger, when I was first starting out drawing.
Yeah.
Because I actually went from drawing anime,
Yeah.
animation characters and cartoons, and it kind of flowed into what I'm doing now. And I've got stuff from then, I have stuff from now, and if I had to count, I probably have maybe over 100 or so. I spread them out all over my floor, and
I'll bet, yeah.
it covers my whole entire room.
Also, well, the one we just saw, the one that I thought would be great in a library, children's room.
This one right here.
Yeah, that one, and you know, this one, I can see some of your artwork at hospitals,
Really?
in the children's centers,
Mm.
young adult. Oh, definitely, because they're upbeat. This girl
Yeah.
right here, I can picture this in a children's center, like at UMass Memorial in Worcester. They have a whole children's hospital within the hospital, like Boston Children's.
Right.
And I can see that is another venue for you. So
Okay.
you've got children's rooms in the library, young adults in libraries,
Mhm.
hospitals.
I never thought about hospitals.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would approach them because that's the kids in there are going to relate to it. I relate to it. Yeah, I definitely would. Have you been to high schools at all and given presentations and helped the teenagers who might want to do what you do?
No, like I said, I work a 9 to 6, so it's been fairly difficult to kind of
9 at night to 6 in the morning?
9 a.m. to
Oh,
6 p.m.
I was going to say that's
Yeah,
a
no,
lot.
that would be too much.
No children yet, right?
No children.
Yeah, you got your hands,
I'm a little bit young for that.
yeah, you got your hands full right
Yes.
now. So, would you have time for your art? Is it after 6 at night at home, right?
Yeah.
You have time to squish that in and your little studio?
Well, some days no, some days yes.
Yeah.
It depends on how motivated I am that day to kind of like bang out a piece. But I typically sketch my ideas out before I do them.
So you sketch it first,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then you paint over it, or you just know what you're going to paint?
Oh no, I have like a little sketchbook. I draw everything in, and then I transfer that over to whatever piece of paper it is, or either a canvas. I even done a few pieces on a piece of glass. Yeah.
So you're a sketcher first.
Mhm.
I know that what I do, mine's abstract, totally different from yours. I don't draw a thing. I mean, I might get in there with my hands and go with all the motions, or just with the brush and very abstract, that type of thing. Yours is, again, I love that picture where he's reading it. I love it. I love that there's a lightness to it. Was it always this is your signature, like I say, with the lights coming down from the sky and outer space? Is that going to be? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Don't
of
lose it.
Okay, thank you.
I have never seen this in someone's artwork.
Yeah.
Never. Absolutely. And the very first one you showed us,
Yeah.
what is that supposed to be? Is it
Just the stars. It's called Catching the Stars. So it's, you make a wish on a star.
yeah. What are
so
these?
it's
These
like
almost look
catching
like
your dreams.
fantasy creatures reaching up.
Oh no, they're hands. The silhouettes of a hand and a jar, and then you have the stars, catching the stars.
The colors. I noticed that you like. What's the dark color you love? Black, blue. What is it?
It's red. To be honest, is my favorite color, and then there's some variations of red. So you've got
Almost
like
a
darker
purple pink,
reds,
yeah.
and you've got like a purple,
purple
color.
pink. And then let me see. Oh, this. This one right here is another one I can see in a hospital children's ward. Definitely, look at her.
Yeah, that one I can kind of see in there.
Definitely.
Yes.
Or in the library, young adult, whatever. There are so many different areas. What have you got coming up for what you're going to be exhibiting or giving a presentation? You got anything in this area not yet, or?
This area not right now. Hopefully, I could do more things out here in Boston.
Oh my gosh!
In Massachusetts, yes.
Awesome.
I would love to, because I mean, I've gotten so much good feedback from people out here, and so much support, and so many people who connect with the artwork. And I mean, like that's the most important thing, is when people are able to connect with what you're creating.
Where's your favorite thing, type of place to do your exhibits? Anything? From coffee houses to, what would be your favorite?
I've only done the Book Lovers Gourmet and then pop-ups.
Yeah.
Pop-ups are really interesting because it's like, it's one night thing. You get to meet so many different people at once.
Where is that? Is that in Boston, pop-up? Where is that?
The one I did here in Boston was a pop-up.
Okay.
And then there were 2 down in New York that I did. Actually, 3 in New York that I did as pop-up.
Yeah.
2 different companies, though, but 2 of the art shows were with the same company.
How far are you willing to travel?
Oh, anywhere. I will,
you are amazing.
I will go to Japan if anybody wants to take me to Japan and do some artwork or exhibit somewhere. Just let me know. I'm willing to go.
And you've got a cold, and you were able to make it.
Yes.
But you've been in traffic. I'd be worried. I wonder if she's either hit a lot of traffic or you were sick. Something happened.
Yeah.
Oh, God forbid. But
both. But I still made it here.
I know you sure did. And who drove? Your friend or you?
Yeah, he drove.
He drove.
Yes.
Yeah. When did you start getting the cold?
It started on Monday.
Okay, so today's Thursday. Yeah.
So it hit me as very slowly, of course, and I was like, "Oh, please no, please." And then, I've just been taking medicine right after I realized that it was like a full-fledged cold, and just taking care of myself, making sure I get the good rest at night.
You look fine.
So.
I would not know you were sick. She's not
you.
coughing. She's nothing like that.
Oh, trust me, on the way up, I was blowing my nose the whole entire time.
Kalin, again, how can people reach you?
I can be reached at Instagram. I can also be reached at through my email at Kalin Monet, KalinMonet @gmail.com.
When you are at work doing your architectural, are they aware of your talent with art?
Some are.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of my coworkers, they know about it. They've come to my last art show.
Yeah.
But I don't think everybody else really knows about it, that I'm doing as much as I am with it, at least.
It's so different from what you're doing for paid work. Architecture, which is, to me, very geometric, right?
Yeah, it's very geometric.
And what's your favorite part of architecture do you like?
I like the designing side of it, of course.
Yeah.
The plan layouts, figuring out where things lay, figuring out where things sit within the plan, and materials. Playing with the materials. I absolutely love that.
Do you have to be good at math to do well in the architecture programs?
Well, for the program, yes.
Yeah.
For the field, it's a lot of just addition and subtraction. At least with the interior architecture. But for the architecture that involves, the exterior of
buildings, the hotel buildings,
that would most likely involve a lot more math.
What are you worried on now? Like interior or exterior? What are you doing?
Interior.
You're doing the interior, sort of like we see on HGTV, the flipper flop and fixers. You do that type of thing,
but for retail.
Ah, that's really, really cool. And it's good paying, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It
pays fairly well.
Now, from here, where do you see you going with your art?
Oh, not to give away any spoilers, but I do see myself combining my artwork with my architecture at some point.
You mean you might take some of that fantasy beautiful that you have and mix it with the architectural, more geometric?
Not necessarily geometric, but yes, combining the two together.
Combining the two talents.
Yes.
Then I would definitely see something like that. Could be a lawyer's office, a doctor's office, when you're combining them.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. See, there's a lot of places, a lot of businesses. You go into a waiting room and maybe they've just redone it or whatever. My husband and I were in one the other day. I don't think there was a bit of artwork up yet.
Oh, really?
No, and I'm
thinking... You
thinking...
should give me their address, so tell them.
I'm thinking, my God, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I would suggest some of mine, but I'm like, I'm not going to get into this. But I could see, definitely, you know, you can go just about, and you get the word out more and more. On your site online, you have all of your artwork on there, right?
I have my favorites of my artwork up on my website. I've got a little gallery on there, and I sell prints, and I sell canvas prints as well. And eventually I'm going to be getting into selling tote bags and t-shirts.
With your designs?
Yes, with the designs.
You know, I tried to get a t-shirt. I designed an abstract, funky little creature.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I'm going to see if I can't, get these manufactured in a t-shirt. So I went to a place in Worcester. Little did I know how much one costs for them to transfer your design.
It's
my
quite
God,
a lot.
Kalin, just for one shirt? I said, well, I guess I'll wear it and see if anybody likes it before it's hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey. The art scene is not cheap at all.
No, and you know what breaks my heart is when you go into an exhibit, you know, like my husband was in a gallery nearby, and they would have, you know, everybody's art exhibited, and then one artist would get to feature for a month or whatever it was and have their opening.
Right.
But people just kind of walking in, looking around, no one buying.
Yeah.
That is, it's like, do they understand, you know, what goes into it?
I think a lot of people don't really see what goes into the art. You know, it's not, I've realized myself too, it's not just, okay, I painted a picture and I put it up on a wall and, you know, everybody sees it.
Sure.
It's about, you know, taking time to get out there, to communicate with people, to get your point across. You know, it's a lot of marketing to it as well. Yeah.
So you got to be good at your marketing.
Yeah, definitely. You got to be pushing it as much as you can.
Well, you're
just
on your way,
putting it
definitely,
out
because
there.
I mean, your artwork to me, like I can see everything from the covers of an author, maybe a new authors who are looking for somebody to do their covers. They're always looking for somebody with great talent. Talk about that on your site. Talk about anything like that.
Definitely.
Like the offices, children's hospitals, youth library sections. You name it. I mean, really, that's fantastic. After the show, I'm going to give you a heads up on a place I know 8 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
And they have a huge room where they exhibit artwork. Also, there's one up the street, but I think you'd like this one better. A lot of authors go there, too, but you can go there and sit there and have your exhibit. You can speak with people. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us. Thanks for making the trip.
Thank
Yonkers,
you.
New York. Today, 3 hours, right?
Yes, about 3 hours.
You I don't know if I could do it. Did you stop at all on the way?
We stopped and got gas.
That's it? No food?
No, I mean, I packed a little stuff to come up with us, like some grapes and apples.
And that did it, right?
That was it.
Oh, well, at least I know you'll travel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love to travel.
Have artwork, we'll travel.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm glad you got here safe, and get over that cold.
Oh, definitely.
We'll see you
Thank
next time and be my guest.